Part 9, N400 form. Most asked 60 vocabulary definitions. Short definitions to help you memorize easily. Do you understand what overdue means? Past a deadline. Past a deadline. What does immigration benefit mean? Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Do you understand what bear arms means? To own or use a gun. To own or use a gun. What does vote mean? To elect new leaders. To elect new leaders. What does a military unit mean? A group that works for the government. A group that works for the government. Can you explain what claim to be a US citizen means? To state you are a US citizen. To state you are a US citizen. Can you explain what lie means? To say something that is not true. To say something that is not true. Do you understand what torture is? To hurt someone physically. To hurt someone physically. Do you understand what owe means? To have a debt. To have a debt. Can you define the oath of allegiance? A promise to be loyal to the United States. A promise to be loyal to the United States. Can you define weapon? Like a knife or gun. Like a knife or gun. Do you understand what cited refers to? Given a ticket by police. Given a ticket by police. Do you understand what misrepresentation is? To lie or give wrong information. To lie or give wrong information. What does a prison or jail mean? A place where prisoners are kept. A place where prisoners are kept. What does hereditary title mean? A royal title, like prince or princess. A royal title, like prince or princess. Can you define paramilitary unit? Like a military group, but is not official. Like a military group, but is not official. What does claim mean? To say something is true. To say something is true. What does false mean? Not true. Not true. Do you understand what civilian refers to? A person who is not in the military. A person who is not in the military. What is military-type training? Learning to fight in combat. Learning to fight in combat. Do you understand what register means? To sign up. To sign up. What does non-resident alien mean? A person who has not passed the green card test. A person who has not passed the green card test. What does the Constitution mean? It is the supreme law of the land. It is the supreme law of the land. Can you define owe taxes? To owe the government money. To owe the government money. Do you understand what file a tax return means? To send tax paperwork to the government. To send tax paperwork to the government. Do you understand what work of national importance means? Tasks that are important to a nation. Tasks that are important to a nation. What is totalitarian party? Government controls everything and people have no power. Government controls everything and people have no power. Can you explain what crime means? An action that breaks the law. An action that breaks the law. What does incite mean? To encourage. To encourage. What does Communist Party mean? Like China, North Korea. Like China, North Korea. Do you understand what the order of nobility is? Like king or queen. Like king or queen. Can you define overthrow? To remove a government from power. To remove a government from power. Can you define non-combatant services? Services that do not involve combat. Services that do not involve combat. What does procure mean? To find someone for sex. To find someone for sex. Do you understand what illegal drugs or narcotics means? Like heroin or cocaine. Like heroin or cocaine. Do you understand what smuggle means? To take things to a country illegally. To take things to a country illegally. Can you define genocide? To kill a whole race. To kill a whole race. Do you understand what arrested means? Handcuffed by the police. Handcuffed by the police. Do you understand what controlled substances mean? You can buy it with a prescription, but with restrictions. You can buy it with a prescription, but with restrictions. Can you explain what national origin means? Where a person is from. Where a person is from. What does civilian direction mean? A direction from a person who is not in the military. A direction from a person who is not in the military. Do you understand what dependent is? Someone who relies on another person. Someone who relies on another person. Do you understand what weapons training is? To learn how to use a gun. To learn how to use a gun. Can you explain what confined means? To be kept in a place. To be kept in a place. Can you explain what detained means? Held in custody by police. Held in custody by police. Do you understand what fraudulent means? To claim something that is not true. To claim something that is not true. Do you understand what deport means? To force a person to leave a country. To force a person to leave a country. Do you understand what a detention facility means? A place where people are forced to stay. A place where people are forced to stay. Can you explain what form of government of the United States means? Republic. Republic. Can you define pay alimony? To pay money to ex-spouse after a divorce. To pay money to ex-spouse after a divorce. What does deportation proceedings mean? Process of removing a person. Process of removing a person. Can you define offense? A minor crime. A minor crime. Can you define prostitute? Someone who has sex for money. Someone who has sex for money. Can you define misleading? Giving the wrong idea. Giving the wrong idea. What does gamble mean? To play a game for money. To play a game for money. Can you define commit a crime? To do something that breaks the law. To do something that breaks the law. What does charged mean? Police tell you that you did something illegal. Police tell you that you did something illegal. Can you define public benefit? Welfare, like food stamps. Welfare, like food stamps. Can you define drug paraphernalia? Equipment to make illegal drugs. Equipment to make illegal drugs. Can you define drafted? Being selected as a soldier. Being selected as a soldier.